Hello, Coldwell Banker, and welcome to the fall edition of the Mile High View. We have an amazing lineup today with lots of information, so please get ready to take some notes. We're going to start with, the also fun topic of legal. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Tammy.
How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. How are you?
I am doing great. I guess before we get to legal, we're going to just talk a little bit about our panel today.
Yes.
All right. We have Kimberly Alexander, the branch manager for the Parker office. She's going to give some tips and tricks about starting your business plan. It is business planning season after all. We have Bill from GRA, all things mortgage, what's going on with rates, and he did bring a crystal ball today, and so he is going to be projecting some interest rates moving forward. Can't wait for that. We also have Jennifer Montoya out of our Colorado Springs office, and we have Amber Simonis out of South Metro. These amazing ladies are going to talk about client events in the fourth quarter and how to really ramp up those activities in a way to build business for the first part of next year. So we're looking forward to that. And I think it includes pie as well. So stay tuned for that.
Well, anytime we include pie, I'm there. Okay.
All right, Chris, let's get on to some serious business on legal.
Awesome. You know, we always love talking about legal. Hey, for once, we're not going to talk about the new contracts.
Well, that's refreshing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
I have 3 points to cover today, and we're going to start off with condo townhome special assessments.
Okay.
It's been a little bit of a headache in recent months and years. We've seen a lot of hailstorms in all over Colorado, right?
Right.
And this is one example of some of the issues. Hail damage happens, and then oftentimes the assessment doesn't come for quite a bit of time, right? They have to get bids, they have to figure out what's in their coffers, and so some of the suggestions I have are, number one, it's always a good idea to check the minutes of the HOA docs. Look in recent months to find out what's been happening in the meetings. What are they voting on? We're seeing this happen late in the contract where they'll come up and they'll say, well, we're doing a special assessment, and then what do? And of course, when we're late in the contract, then we're having to renegotiate items. There's also questions around the HO6. If I have an HO6 and then the seller or the buyer buys it, does my HO6 cover it, or does the new buyer's HO6 cover it? Sometimes title can escrow for these items if it's already been determined. And I do want to remind everybody to pay close attention to Section 16 of the contract, where it says any special assessment assessed prior to the closing date will be the obligation of, and then you have a box to check, right? It's either going to be the obligation of the buyer or the obligation of the seller. And whatever box you check in there will guide that. But again, the question is, when was that assessed? And that's one of the issues that we're running into is, when was this item assessed, or when will it be assessed? So pay close attention. You can order an O&E or do a TBD title, but that's not really going to cover what you need it to.
Right, because these special assessments are showing up at the 11th hour.
Correct.
Before closing, and everyone is being blindsided, if you will.
Yes.
By these assessments. So as a listing agent, Chris, how do I help eliminate some of this angst and last fire drill?
So first off, talk to your seller and find out what's been happening in the HOA. Has there been any hailstorms? Has there been any issues with the complex that they know of? But it's not just hail, but it's also other things like older complex needs, new elevators, and new plumbing and things like that. Secondly, get your HOA documents up front. As a listing agent, it's always good to get prepared and get those HOA documents, peruse those minutes yourself, because you can overcome a lot of issues by looking at the minutes yourself, so that you can go back to your seller and say, hey, look, I noticed they were talking about this potential special assessment. What's going on with that? And ask your seller, because they may not be paying attention I know that's odd, a seller not paying attention.
To their HOA minutes, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So anyway, those are some of the things as a listing agent that you can do to get prepared. And then, of course, as a buyer's agent, always look through the minutes and recommend that your buyer look through those minutes as well.
Sure, and I know sometimes on special assessments, it may apply to one building, not all of the buildings.
Correct.
So that's also something to pay attention to.
Correct. So obviously the message here is get prepared. So let's talk about solar. I know this is always a fun topic.
Yeah, so usually those conversations start with, hi, manager, I have a solar issue.
Yes. Right? Oh, it does.
Yes.
I'm telling you. Obviously, sellers sometimes think the solar is worth a lot of money, just like everything else. And buyers oftentimes don't think the same way. And what happens is seller invests in solar, and oftentimes there's a solar lien or a solar lease or a solar plan, sometimes two of those. And then for whatever reason, they need to sell. And now they're talking to their listing agent. They're saying, hey, I put solar on last year. I'm super excited. That should bring our value up. And of course, the listing agent often has to deliver that bad news of, well, the solar might not be worth as much as what you think it's worth. Because obviously value is oftentimes all in the eye of the purchaser.
Yes.
And so things to get prepared for. There's been some concerns lately I've heard with assumable solar loans. Is it assumable? I had one recently where I was talking to an agent and the loan was assumable. However, it was only assumable if it was over $15,000. The interesting part is this particular loan was just under that mark. And so it made the loan not assumable according to their rules. And so then they had to decide, they were already under contract, and they had to decide how they were going to handle that. Was the buyer going to pay for it? Was the seller going to include it? It gets tricky. Some of the things to pay attention to are there's 3 little sections in Section 2 that address solar. 251, there's a box to check for inclusions, and there's a solar box there. And 255 is where you list any liens that will need to be assumed by the buyer. And then in 259, there's addresses the solar power plan. And so that would need to be assumed by the buyer. So make sure that you ask great questions as a buyer's agent when you're putting into an offer on that property. And as a listing agent, number one, ask great questions, but it's also a great idea to look and verify with the lender and ask great questions there.
I would even go so far as to have the seller contact the solar company or the person who is carrying that lease or loan to find out exactly what that assumption might look like, and even if it's doable. We did have a situation, in another office where the loan, the solar lease was absolutely not assumable.
Yep.
The company considered it a personal loan, and that personal loan was not assumable or transferable, and the seller had to pay it off. I think it was a little bit over $30,000 that the seller was not expecting to pay in order to sell that home. So again, the devil's in the details.
Yes.
So please ask your seller to review that. Ask your seller to make some calls before we even go on the market, and especially before we go under contract.
I would agree. Another thing you could do as an agent is put it out there to your sphere of influence. Hey, before you get solar and finalize the details, maybe give me a call and ask me some questions about the value. Because if you're ever thinking about selling, it's a good idea to have that information ahead of time.
Ironically, a lot of the homes that we see listed, the solar's been on maybe 2 years.
Yes.
And so that's where we run into the assumable loan and value, and it gets a little tricky.
Yes.
Okay, well, these are all fun topics. What else do you have, Chris?
Well, let's talk about a new commission position statement. Statement 30.
Do you notice how excited Chris gets about these?
I know, it's awesome. I don't think anybody else is excited about commission position statements as I am. I got an email the other day from Dora, and they said, oh, there's this new commission position statement. I thought I should probably read this.
Thank you, and thank you for that.
Hey, you're welcome. So this is on data security and privacy. It's having to do with a lot of the issues around wire fraud and things like that, email hacking. All of this comes into play. And I'm not going to go over the whole position statement with you, but there's really a couple of points that we need to pay attention to as agents. Number one, they specified email accounts, and they're asking agents to refrain or think twice about using free online email accounts. I think it doesn't list it, but I think it's going to include things like Hotmail or Gmail. And if you are going to use those accounts, remember that you should have two-factor authentication. You know that on our Coldwell Banker email addresses, we have two-factor authentication, and so that's there to protect you. And we're using the Coldwell Banker email. It does, it is protected, and it's also protected under our E&O insurance. Another thing to consider with this position statement is using public Wi-Fi. So if you're at Starbucks and you decide, oh, I'm going to hop on the Wi-Fi here, something to consider, make sure you're using a VPN to protect your laptop and the data that you're using. So they're cracking down on this, obviously, so that if there are issues that come up, they have the opportunity to say, hey, we warned you, agents. So make sure to pay close attention to that.
It's just so important. We had this week, we had another client who sent $100,000 in a wire to we don't know who.
Yes.
And unfortunately, that agent's email was duplicated, but there's always something wrong with that email.
Yes.
Another letter in your name, or Coldwell is spelled without the D.
Yes.
So, there's just so many things to be aware of. But the one thing that I would ask everyone, I know it happens and I know a lot of agents do this, but the minute you forward your CB Realty Home email to another email or to your Gmail, you lose a security that we've put in place with your cbrealty.com email. So please think twice about forwarding. We have security measures in place to help get ahead of the criminals, I will say.
One other suggestion I have on this because of wire fraud is that when you talk to your seller and your buyer in the first consultation or in consultations coming up, always tell them to never give wiring information over email. They should be talking directly to the closer or somebody at Guardian Title, as an example, to know where they're going to wire the money. It's extremely important, and always let them know that it's never going to come from you, the agent. It always should be somebody at the title company.
And that conversation should be had multiple times.
Correct.
Throughout the deal, and no one is going to email wiring instructions to them.
Yes.
If they get an email with wiring instructions, they should immediately pick up the phone and call you.
Correct.
Okay.
So, well, those are my 3 points for legal lowdown.
Okay.
I'd like to invite Bill up.
All right. Thank you so much, Chris.
Hey, my pleasure.
Well, hi, Kimberly. You don't look a thing like Bill.
Here I am.
Welcome to the Mile High View.
Well, I'm excited to be here.
Well, and I am excited to have you. So it is business planning season.
It is.
So give us your best tips and tricks of starting a business plan. I know sometimes that's where agents get stuck. Like, where do I start? What do I need? And then sometimes it just never happens.
Right. And oftentimes it is. It's like, where do I even begin? So there's 4 things that are really important and when you're starting to build your business plan. Number 1 is people. And I think I need to switch. Can't see where the clicker's going. There we go. So number 1 is the right people. And, we need to invite people into our business that will support us in what we want to get accomplished. So do we need to learn? Do we need supports? Do we need training? Do we need coaching? What does that look like? So really understanding the village that we need around us to support us is really, really important. And oftentimes when I see agents planning, they'll say, well, it's just me. You know, I just need me, myself, and I, and it really takes a village to grow a great business. So what people do you need around you? Secondly, are the right tools. So, you know, at CB, we have the most extraordinary tools. I mean, worth hundreds and thousands of dollars. I've done the math. And we have our managing brokers, we have success coaches, we have our tiles, we have CBU learning, we have all the things. And so what tools do you need right alongside you that will support your plan? Next is budget. Oh, the budget. Don't we love budget?
I think this is probably where people just go, okay, I'm
Say,
done.
yeah, tune her out.
I'm done. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tune her out. But not every year is created equal. And that's what I want everyone to really understand is that every year brings different opportunities, different challenges. So what are you looking to invest in your business this year? Are you reinventing yourself? Are you maybe adding on some client appreciations, whatever that may be? But there is, you know, it takes money to make money sometimes. So what does that look like in regards to your budget from a quarterly and a monthly basis? And then the right time. And our little chat today, time is going to kind of string throughout. We so want to do all these great things, but we oftentimes don't put the right amount of time into it. So oftentimes when we fall short, it's, I was hustling, I was out doing all these great things, but why am I falling short? And oftentimes our big dreams often don't mirror in the right amount of time that we need to give to it. So that is a really, really important factor to remember. So.
Okay. So you and I had a conversation a couple weeks ago on this very topic as we were preparing for the Mile High View. And you said something that really resonated with me. It was like doing all of the things in the year.
Right.
So you want to talk us through kind of what not to do?
I know that's equally as important, right? Of what to do and what not to do. One thing that I think is important to realize, and this will fold into what not to do, is that we look at planning as business, right? So we have our business and we have our life. I've seen business owners and agents virtually have two different calendars. You know, my life calendar, soccer and baseball and all the things, and then my business. Well, where we fall short is that we have one life. We have business and we have life. Life affects business, business affects life, right? And we've seen that. Me personally, I've seen that. I've had goals of doubling my business in a year, and then life happens. So you have to make those adjustments. But what I want everyone to really sit and think through, and what I have found with agents and business owners, is that this step one, and this will help in what not to do, what not to focus on, is looking at your business and your life and really looking at your year as a whole. So is it the year that you're going to double your business and your life is just pretty easy self-running? Or is it the year that, you know, we have aging parents, we have littles, so we're limited on time we can grow our business. We've got, you know, are you moving? Or any big changes in your life? So I want you to think of 2025 is the year of. And it doesn't mean that, believe me, our VP, I'm not saying your life is busy so you don't need to grow your business. That's not the message. But it's really owning, is this the year to grow your business by 10%, by 50%, because of all the things happening in your life? So we can have it all. I will never tell an agent, oh, you want to get in shape and lose 100 pounds and run a marathon and be soccer mom and double your business this year. I will say you can't, I'll never say you can't do it, but show me how you're going to do that. And so it's really important to understand this 2025 is the year of what? And is it your year to double your business, or is it your year to grow a strong, consistent business? but also tend to your life as well. I think that's how we can get, and believe it or not, this is such an important part of planning, because we tend to just say, pluck out of the air, I'm going to do 25 deals this year. And, but in all actuality, really, truly, is that attainable? So it's important to really understand the big picture of your life and how you can grow it from there.
Wonderful. Well, I saw in the previous slide, I saw 3 business goals, 3 personal goals.
Yes.
Or 3 goals in life. Okay.
Yes.
So is 3 the magic number? Can I do 10?
Yeah, that is an excellent question, Tammy. So the answer is you never want more than 3. 3 business, 3 life, and really that is even quite a lot because you want it to be attainable. So my philosophy on planning is pick a few and go deep, you know, and can you really tend to those goals? So sometimes there may be one business goal. I'm seeing a lot of agents thus far going, I want to get to the Broadmoor, I will get to the Broadmoor, and then 1 to 3 life goals. So most of the time, you know, is maybe 1 big one and 2 maybe kind of smaller ones. But a good constant to think of is it's not a to-do list. So a goal is not a task. Okay. And it should not be something that you could accomplish in the first half of the year. It's the big goals that it takes you, you know, 3 to 4 quarters to attain.
Okay. Thanks for breaking that down.
Absolutely.
Okay. What else?
3 things to understand your business.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just going to put them all up here. 3 things that are really important to understand. So we're kind of going big view and breaking it down. 3 things to understand in your business. Number 1, and this is the big game changer, is your niche. We love to think that we are everything to everyone, right? And if we don't niche down, well, there's people that we'll miss. Well, would you rather have a couple people that you get, or would you rather get 10 people that you're speaking to their love language? Oh my gosh, you're my person. And would you rather find 10 of those people or 2 wackadoo out in the world people? So the more you niche down, and in my own personal experience, every time I niched down, my business would grow 25 to 50% over and over, year over and over and over again. And the reason why is looking at all the decisions you make in your business, branding, marketing, events, social media, everything, even meeting someone for a coffee and what you say, you want to plan that to your niche. So think about who you love to serve. You know, that perfect client that you're sad that you're at the closing table because you don't want it to end, like you love that person so much. That is almost like your avatar. And could you serve that client over and over and over again? So looking at your branding, marketing, all those things that we do to get out in the world and market ourselves, you want to tailor down that niche. The second thing is supports needed. So are you seeing a commonality thing going on here, Tammy? It's like rinse and repeat,
yes.
Right? Biggest thing, supports needed. So we have so many supports at CB. Again, hundreds and thousands of dollars of value. And looking at training, coaching, mentoring, all of our tiles, all the varying different things that we have built in. I could take an hour to break all those things down that we have here at CB, but training, coaching, hiring out, whatever that may be, what supports do you need to support the marketing, you know, to get you to those goals, to be in front of the right people? So support's needed. It's important to really understand that now before January 1st, so you can start getting those people in front of you. Oftentimes you may need to seek them out. You may not even know who you need.
Sure.
But when you know who you need, they can get to work hip to hip with you. And then plan in real time, there's the time thing again, is to support your goals. So many times someone's out there hustling, they're doing all of the right things. But instead of reaching out to 5 people a day, do you need to reach out to 10 to get to that big goal if you want to double your business? So it's really important to realize the time that goes into it. About 95% of the time, and yes, I've tracked this, about 95% of the time when those that are doing all the right things don't hit their goal is because the amount of time wasn't there that they needed. So that's very
So we don't run out of plan, we just run out of time.
Oh, I might take that. That's really good. I love that.
Yeah, I think it's the big goals, chunking it down, and then putting in the time. And I've never really looked at the time piece, but I think that probably is something that can sideswipe a business plan. It's
Huge.
just not enough time. And then also, I would say doing things that are in your plan that you don't love.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm going to actually jump into that very easily on so many times in regards to marketing, jumping into marketing and what we don't want to do versus have to do. There are so many ways that we can market our business. Okay. My challenge to everyone is to pick 3 things to market. There's hundreds of ways to market our business, but that magic 3, right? So pick 3 things and go deep in it. So how many times I've heard an agent say, oh, I have to go farm today, or, oh, I have to get my social media calendar together. And so my answer back to them is, what do you enjoy doing? Mm-hmm. Do you wake up in the morning and love what you do? And if you don't love farming, then guess what? Don't farm, because the energy, the going through the motions, anytime we feel that we're doing that from a marketing perspective, we will not be successful. If you don't like what you're doing, you're not going to see success. So there's, 2 different categories of marketing, outward and digital. Outward is just that. You're out with the people, right? And a lot of people are getting back to the basics on being out in front of people. So coffees or networking events or happy hours or client appreciation, whatever that means, volunteering, lots of great things we can do in the world to give back and do great things and be in front of our people. And people love being hip to hip. We've gotten so used to, since COVID, right, before COVID, of not being in front of people.
Right.
So a lot of people are getting back to that. Then digital marketing, social media, CRM, Moxie. I've seen agents with huge success in that area, and other agents that they have a presence on social media, but they're crushing it outward. So pick 3 things that you absolutely love to do and go deep in that. You don't have to be a social media influencer, right? And you don't have to farm 5,000 houses every single week. Pick what you love and go deep in it.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. So 1 or 2 words to sum up success for 2025 in a business plan.
Yes. So in 2025, working your plan. So let's wrap it all up. There are 2 words that are really important. What a shock. Time. Time.
I see a theme here.
Yeah, it's a theme. Are you allowing the time needed to achieve your goal? And really, as you are going through and building out your plan, and on a side note, Tammy, all of this that we're talking about today, this is before you even break out the calculator. Right? This is really getting your mind and your heart connected, really understanding the business that you want to build, the people that you want to be in front of, and the people that you need alongside you. And then how many hours a week can you put into that business? And does all of that speak the same language? So time is really critical. It's the game changer or game maker. And then next is consistency. We've heard that 100,000 times, and it really is true. Wake up every day, and what are we doing to grow our business? This is a 24/7 business. I've seen agents see incredible success working their business 15 to 20 hours a week with a ton of stuff on their plate. But are you doing all the right things with the right people in the right time? That really is the magic bullet. It really is. And consistency, are you showing up every day? So I teach to my peeps the 5-5-5 of reaching out to 5 people every day, following up with 5 people every day, 5 days a week. You just even do that and build that into your plan, you'll see great things happen. So wrapping everything up is, we can't have it all. We can live the life that we deserve, and we could build the business that we dream of. It just takes some organization and some thought to get us there.
So another question. How often should I review my business plan?
Oh, you're so good. I would say what I personally do is I review it. It's a living and breathing document. I don't put it on computer. Call me old school. I put it in pencil and I write it out because life is an ebb and flow, as is our business. So I review it at the start of every month. And I also do a review at the start of every quarter, just because business can change, life can change, and we want to ensure that we stay on track with that.
Beautiful. So the moral of that story is write a really great plan, but then review it.
Yes.
Don't put it away and pull it out this time next year and go, well, I guess I should have done some things different.
It's like, wow, that looked really good. And I've seen plans color-coded, time blocked, all the things, and business didn't grow because they put it in the drawer and it didn't happen. So yes, I love that point. Please look at your plan and put it in motion.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Some really great tips and tricks. So if you haven't started on your business plan, now would be a great time to just start thinking about it. I know in every office we're having business planning classes, one-on-one with your manager. So take the time, invest in yourself, invest in your business. It doesn't have to be a 30-page plan.
No.
It can be a one-page document, a one-page plan with some really specific action items and goals to get you where you want to be in 2025.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Good luck,
Okay. Up next, we have Bill, Senior Vice President, Guaranteed Rate Affinity.
Yes, thank you for the introduction.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here. And I see that you're missing your crystal ball.
Well, looking at that headshot that was on there earlier, that was the crystal ball. Good Lord. I think it needed its own zip code. So, no, I do have some facts that moving forward look good. Gotten a little short-term pain right now. So the feds did finally move. We've all been waiting for this. You're going to
We have been waiting
buyers
forever.
Oh, it's been
Bill.
brutal to hear.
Yes.
But we were all expecting a quarter point. We got a little more because somebody in accounting doesn't do their job very well. They missed 818,000 jobs that were not created. So by doing that, it bumped the feds from a quarter to a half a point, which is great.
It's great.
It helps your equity line, your credit cards, all those things. And then typically after the feds move, rates will bump up a little bit. Well, we bumped up a lot of it because right after that, we got inflation that ticked up in a jobs report that was supposed to be created at 145,000. We got 254,000. Well, if you dig deeper into that job report, 200,000 of those jobs are 16 to 18-year-olds. Not really going to move the needle. But as it looks on the outside, it created fear. So what does fear stand for? Factual evidence appearing
Real.
correct. So that's what we're dealing with right now. So
I didn't know there was going to be a quiz. Okay.
keep you on your toes.
All right.
But so it's moved us about a half point up.
Okay.
It's crazy.
So you're talking half a point, quarter point. Like, where are we today with rates?
Running about 6.5.
6.5. Okay.
Right after the feds, we were dipped. We got down to some locks at 6.
Nice.
6 and 8. So it was great.
Yes.
It's helping affordability. So it moved us a little bit. Looking forward, though, I was talking to Rob Thompson out of Chris's office yesterday, and we were talking about, he goes, God, the magic number that I'm really hearing out there to make this market move is 5 3/4. And I said, Rob, I understand that wholeheartedly, but for every 1% we go down, we add 5 million people to the pool. We might start that feeding frenzy again.
Sure.
So, which was fun. It helped us out a lot. But you got to be careful what you wish for sometimes. But moving forward, what we're looking at, it's not going forward. Here's what we're looking at going forward. The federal funds rate currently right now is at 4.8. By the end of next year, we're looking at around 3%, which will get us down mid-5s, low-5s.
Okay, so just what you need to say that again, because we're not looking at 3%.
No.
Not looking at 3%
No. This
interest.
This is the bank's overnight rate.
Like people just started calling their buyers.
Oh,
like it's going to be
100%.
3%. Okay.
Yes, no.
So 3% equates to
about a 5, 5 1/4
Okay.
is what we're looking at.
Okay.
By the end of 26, you're looking in the 4s again. So it's going to help immensely moving forward. Currently, right now, I'm doing a refinance for a borrower that bought actually in October last year. House she wanted in Cherry Creek. She loved the house. She can renovate it. She's currently at 8%. Right now, we're refinancing her at 6.5%. We're saving her $500 a month. She was like, well, should I wait? I'm like, why would you wait to save $6,000 when in a year I'll get you down 5.25 and we'll save you another 500? So it's kind of the date your rate, marry the house.
Well, and I think like waiting is never a good play.
No.
In real estate, because, you know, we could wait for the rates to come down. We could wait for the prices to come down, and what's the magic, right? There really isn't. So
When's the best time to buy a house?
right.
Now.
When you need it. Yeah. Now would be a great time.
So it's looking better going forward.
Good. So again, anticipation of rates in 2025.
2025, we'll be looking in the fives.
Looking in the fives.
Which is gonna move some properties.
Okay.
We've got some good inventory right now.
Okay.
So I think Lane talked about the unicorn that people are looking at. I love
Right.
that analogy. That was awesome. But it'll start help. Affordability comes back, which is huge.
Yes. So how much cash are you still seeing in the market?
In respect to,
Purchasing. Because I think you guys track cash, right?
yes, Colorado runs about 34% cash buyers, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
I talked to RVPs and asked them to reach out to agents that had people that were all cash buyers. That money's not doing anything. It's just sitting there. Let's get these people refinanced and get them out to buy some non-owners, some investment properties, get that money working again. So that would be a great, so they are reaching out to the agency if that's something they want to do.
Okay. Because sometimes putting your money, all your cash in a property is not the best play financially either.
No,
right?
not at all.
We just need the rates to come down.
Yep.
And then the lending is more affordable, and we can do that. But to your point, a good time to refinance right now.
Oh, definitely.
If we purchased at the 8%.
Oh, yeah. If you're a year ago, you got to reach out and get that money working again and get your affordability back down. Because right now, the other thing that we're doing is calling out to past clients is they're now looking at their escrow statements. And your taxes went up.
Sure.
And your insurance has gone up, and they're getting hit. So it's a good, we're talking about insurance agents who can then talk to and start shopping that stuff because it's all going up. It's brutal.
Right. Right.
So there's lots of opportunity right now.
Okay. So any other things you're seeing out there in mortgage? If I'm working with a buyer today,
Yes.
like what is a hot button for underwriters right now? Like, is there things that they're really focusing in on?
There's not one thing. About 20% of our loans are being underwritten by AI now, so an underwriter's not touching it. So, which is great because then you take emotions out of the loan. It's cut and dry. So that's helping immensely. We actually had a loan cleared to close in 15 seconds on AI. That's what we're getting to in this point. So it's taking some of the emotions out of it. Really haven't seen any trends. The biggest trend usually in these times is occupancy. They say their buyers are occupied, and they're not.
Okay. Okay. And then loan limits.
Loan limits did bump up to around 800,000 for conventional, which is great. So in our market, that's huge because of where our price points are.
It is.
I think the average listing is 650. Correct me.
Yeah, we're about an average sales price, closing price of 678
Okay.
in the metro area.
Yep. So that will help us out a lot.
Okay,
moving
wonderful.
forward.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you dropping the rates.
All on me. Thank you.
All on you. Yeah, no pressure. No pressure, Bill. Thank you so much for everything. And if you have any questions, your GRA loan officer in your office is a plethora of information and can assist, even looking over maybe other loan options
Correct.
that the buyer may have.
Or even a second look.
A second look. A second looks are really important. I think so many times buyers focus in on interest rate.
Right.
And there are so many other fees built into some loan programs with other lenders that there's a miss there.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
All right.
Thanks so much, Bill.
Thank you.
Have an amazing day.
You too.
Ladies, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Absolutely. All right. So, Jennifer.
Hi,
Why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you, how long you've been in real estate,
all that kind of fun.
all the fun stuff. Yes.
So I'm Jennifer Montoya. I'm in the Colorado Springs office, and this is my 31st year in business.
And she started when she was 10.
Something like that.
Yes.
18.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. And Amber.
Hey, I was getting some
Oh,
background.
you were getting
from Rick. Rick's
some
like,
directions from our producer? Okay.
Hi, I'm Amber Simonis. I've been with CB for 19 years. That's how long I've sold real estate. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And Just been a Colorado resident for 25 years.
Wonderful. So we have about 50 years of experience, like quick math, right?
Oh, when we were 10.
That's right. When you were 10, we have about 50 years of experience. So I believe we're starting, you have the clicker, so we're starting with Jennifer. Okay. So we're talking a little bit about client appreciation events, the ins and the outs of that, the prep time. So talk to us a little bit about some of your most popular client events and how those are executed and why do you enjoy those?
Sure.
Okay.
So in the fourth quarter, let's see if we're clicking here. There we go. Oop. Okay. So in the fourth quarter, I like to start out with really hitting all of the holidays. I love the holidays. So we do Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all of that kind of stuff. So this is an example of a little pop by. For those of you who know Brian Buffini, I've been associated with that company for 25 years now. So this is just something fun that we do. And for Halloween, we send them out to all of our out-of-town folks. So this year, about 60 people are getting these, and we follow up with a little video. And then I also do Thanksgiving, which, let's see, there we go. So at Thanksgiving, we do a pie party, and I'll come back and tell more about that. And then for Christmas, we like to do two things as well. So I will send out, let's see if we have an example of that. Oh, there we go. Let's go back. Let's go back one more time. Okay, so for anyone that sold a house, I get them a wreath, and that's a great thing for out-of-state clients. We ship it out to them. For clients that bought a house, I do a personalized little Christmas ornament, and then I'll deliver it and look at, you know, something cute like that. So, so yeah, that's kind of the overview of what we do for the quarter.
Okay, so I'm assuming that there's a lot of preparation.
Yes.
To these things.
Yeah. So there's a lot of preparation to these things. Over the years, so I have a fabulous assistant, Teresa's her name. Over the years, what we have learned is to buy it early. So we buy Halloween stuff in August or September. We are buying Christmas ornaments. That's on our list actually today. So as soon as the vendors have it available, we buy it. We place all of the wreath ornaments, all of that kind of thing as early as possible, because in years past, things have sold out, or you pay more money, or that kind of thing. So
I think that's so important. Anybody doing any type of client appreciation events or pop buys is the preparation and not deciding a couple days before Halloween, right? To do and we're going to talk about a pumpkin patch, but you don't want to think about that on October 15th,
right?
Because it's already too late.
It's
and I
too
think
late,
sometimes, and that plays into Kimberly's presentation about business planning.
Yeah.
It's that time factor to prepare for the event.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite things that you talked about on our little interview was your Thanksgiving pie event. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. So, so we have been hosting, we call it our little attitude of gratitude. Let's see here. Where are we? There we are. So here's an example of the invitation. So we've been doing this event for 11 years now. Started out with about 40-ish people there, and now we're at about 100. And so my lender and I, we co-sponsor this together. We offer everyone a choice of 3 pies. Over the years, we've added in donations to the Children's Hospital, all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
And so it just really, now it's turned into something that is anticipated by my clients. Like sometimes they even text me when it's November, like, hey, are you doing the pie thing? And here's what I want. So it's just been a really nice event that allows me to connect with my clients.
Wonderful. And it's an attitude of gratitude. Is that what you said?
Yeah, an attitude of gratitude.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So
Wonderful.
It's just a nice little way for me to connect with them. And then diving into some of the logistics. So this is just an example of what it looks like when we're ready to go. And so we've got all of the pies out there. This is actually an example of a picture that we sent out where we could, was like, hi, I've got your pie ready, that kind of thing. And then here's what we're giving away this year, actually, little spatulas and then these little beeswax wrapping. So that'll be kind of fun. We always try to do kitchen gadgets and see like what the latest trend is. And that seems to be really fun to do. And let's see what we've got.
I would assume that you go on listing presentations to former clients and you see your kitchen gadgets.
Oh, I have not. I'll have to be on the lookout for that.
Look for your kitchen gadgets when you're on that listing presentation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
And then we just do little fun tags, just again, like to thank them, just little sort of cute stuff. And then, let's see here. And then, yeah, we really try to do, like, we're just thankful, grateful. Some of the tags that we do are more like, hi, can I have a referral? These are more like just thank you. So, and let's see if there's anything else on that one. Oh, and then this is a picture. This is actually the first year that we did our toy drive. And this we found out that the second year I didn't promote it as much, and we got maybe half of these toys. So it's really important to promote and to remind. We usually send out a lot of reminders to people.
And you talked a little bit, I think on one event you talked about video. So is that, you know, a video text you send out, you're doing a video on YouTube, or
just a video text. Yeah, usually I'll just record one that's pretty generic, and then I'll just sit in the front office and text it out to everybody because I want to have that personal response. Like, I don't want to send it out with a bot kind of a thing.
Sure. So it sounds like you have all of your events really dialed in. So I would imagine along the years you learned what to do and what not to do. So what are some of the not to do's?
Yeah, absolutely. So for the pie party, we've learned that timing is really key. We usually host it the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. We have learned over the years when you have a small number of people coming, it's fine to have it in a couple of small time increments, like a 12 to 2, like a 4 to 6. But when it's gotten bigger, we extended it to all afternoon. And so that allowed me actually to talk to more people because they weren't all crammed in a couple time slots. So that was good. Thinking you can do this kind of event by yourself is not possible. There's no way that I could make it happen without Teresa. She and I are there co-hosting. Our lender comes when she can as well. We've learned to wear comfortable shoes. We have learned that if you don't promote it, people are not coming. That even if they tell you they're coming, we usually have about 5% of the people who don't pick their pies up. So we try to, that's why I leave for that Wednesday, so I can actually deliver those pies to people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if they don't pick up their pie, then they get to see you in person.
Then we'll bring it. Yeah, it's like, here it is. So here's your pie. Yeah.
Wonderful. So how do you know if one of the events has been successful?
Sure. I think there's a couple different measures of that. One is sort of a more not as quantifiable, where it's people who they anticipate it, they look forward to it. You know, I'm sorry we can't come this year, but we'll see you next year. You know, that type of thing I think is really good.
Sure.
My business coach, a couple of years ago, he said, all right, what we need to do, here's my children, some grumpy, some not, where we're dropping them off to the children's hospital. What he had me do was an after action plan. And so basically what we did is, okay, how many people were invited? How many people actually showed up? How many pies did we give away? What vendor contributions? How much did everything cost? And then the most important thing, he had me track possible GCI from referred transactions. So one of the things that I do is I have a notepad with me, and anytime anyone mentions anything about real estate during this pie party, I'll write it down. I'm like, hey, I just want to take some notes, just, you know, that kind of thing. So the first year we did this was from the first year. So it was, 20 possible referrals, doing various things throughout the year and all of that. So, and then let's see if we have a second page on this. It might just be, the other thing that we do is we just do a debrief. Teresa's a retired Air Force chief, so she's really organized. She's like, let's debrief these parties. So we do things that, that go well and don't go well and that kind of thing. So, yeah.
So tell us something unexpected that happened at one of your events.
Sure. So that's it. We're just talking about this, as a matter of fact. So one year I had some clients to whom I had sold a home and then helped them buy a home. And they came and they were happily sitting eating pie. And she had actually made me this lovely ceramic pie plate. And so as we're just chitty-chatting about whatever, she's like, oh, yeah, we've got our house on the market. I said, okay.
Give me my pie back.
Didn't say that, even though I really wanted to. So after she left, Teresa and we got the trash can and dropped that ceramic plate in it, and we're like, we're done. So, yeah, so every now and then stuff like that can
sometimes, yes. And that you bring up a really good point, because sometimes I think people don't connect the dots necessarily.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
this is a thank you for your business.
Yes.
Thank you for your continued business.
Yes. Right. Yeah. We were kind of wondering about that. And then actually another thing that I learned the hard way was whenever I know who my guest list is, if I can't recognize them like on site and know exactly who they are, then I will go through Facebook and I will make sure that I have their face firmly in my mind, because there were a couple of times where people would come that I hadn't seen in a couple of years and I'm like, okay, I know you. Who are you? You know, it's just, oh my gosh. So, yeah.
Yes. Thank goodness for Facebook.
Thank goodness for Facebook. Yes.
For sure. Anything you'd like to add to the do's or don't do's or be prepared for?
Yeah. You know, I think really this kind of thing, it might look overwhelming to agents that haven't ever done it before. I would just recommend, like, start small. Don't be afraid. You know, people really just do want to see you. And this has always gone over, the vibe of it has always gone over super well. And if you choose to continue it and be consistent, you know, with business planning, you're consistent, you know, it really does pay dividends throughout the years. So
wonderful. Now, this is really heavy fourth quarter prospecting. Yeah. Do you do other things throughout the year?
Yeah, so we do like a mail out for Valentine's Day as well. So same thing to all of our out of towners. I'm usually doing something for Mother's Day. We try to take advantage of whatever Coldwell's got going on, be it here in Denver or in the spring. So just all of the everything we try to do, and then a summer party as well.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing some really great ideas, and along with the spreadsheet. So I'm sure Kimberly is super excited about this spreadsheet. Yes, super excited. Okay, Amber, talk to us about your events.
So I do all sorts of events that it kind of goes back to what Kimberly said. It does take a village. And so when I'm doing my business planning, I do one big event a year, and then I do 3 quarterly events. So I want them consistent. I feel that the holidays are really easy and we can go really heavy at the holidays, but I think it's the consistency that's important. I feel that it does take a village, and you need to find out who is in your sphere and willing to help. And if you're an agent on your own, partner with another agent. I take full advantage of our primary sphere. I use Mark Purvis from Guaranteed Rate. Him and I partner on a lot of stuff together. That's actually him down there in that picture. So,
is that him on the horse?
No. He's actually in the middle with the straw hat there. So what I did is I like to actually do, and everybody's budget is different. So when you're doing your business planning, you need to make sure you put in your budget at what you want to do and what's capable. Don't overwhelm yourself. These were really simple things. Obviously, most of us market the neighborhoods we live in. So a small budget thing is I do my neighborhood barbecue. We have 29 houses in my neighborhood, and it's actually, I host it at our house, and it doesn't really cost anything because everybody brings a dish to share. And it just kind of reiterates what I do in the neighborhood. I make sure I put my open house signs out with the Coldwell Banker logo, directing people to which house is hosting the party this year. And I think that's really a good touch event, too, on a small scale that anyone can do. We live near the polo fields, and so what I did was I took some of my A-listers, and we did a private polo party. And that was really cool, and Mark and his wife Sarah came to that, too, because they're part of my A-listers.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So that was kind of a small thing that we did.
Okay.
I'm trying to get this to go forward. There it is. Okay, so kind of thinking of like outside of the box. Kimberly had also talked about, I loved her points she had about niches. I feel it's really important to hone in on your niches and try to do things that are a little bit different. So you always, this business, you have to go with the curve, right? It's ever changing. So for example, when we had COVID and we couldn't really go out, I sent Kona Ice to my clients. And the Kona Ice, you can probably find another company that will do it. They will put your logo on their trucks, most of them. And that's really like your free mobile brochure, right?
Sure.
That was really cool. That's my husband and daughter. Obviously, this is COVID, so a couple of years ago.
Kona Ice, I will tell you, is very popular. Like,
Yeah.
my granddaughters, they can spot a Kona Ice truck from miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's cooler to say, my realtor sent Kona Ice to our neighborhood. So what you can do if you're on a budget, you can prepay for your clients. And then if the other neighborhoods people want to get involved, then Kona Ice, of course. I mean, and you can use whoever, but Kona Ice will pay. They can pay them direct. So, but you're still branding yourself. Another big thing that I like to do is I look for ways to, we always do touch points for our current clients, and I like to do things that bring new people into our sphere. And so I think your events, you need to plan a quarterly, at least once a year, an event that will bring people into your sphere. And this is like great opportunities here. We did a chili cook-off fundraiser, and we invited local crafts vendors, kind of like a farmer's market. They all donated items to our fundraiser, and so we sold raffle tickets, and that money went to the theater. But it got us out in the community. It showed that we were supporting the community. I really feel that you have to embrace your community.
Sure.
The other thing is, like Coldwell Banker, if you're a new agent, we have so many amazing tools. This is the car show in Highlands Ranch. I'm pretty much in the South Metro. And so, like, really low, right? So the entry fee, I think, was $200 for that. But again, it was a branding event. And you can use it as a touch point for your current clients. So I thought that was pretty good. Yeah.
Wonderful. Oh, this looks fun.
Do you guys recognize this guy?
This is the guy on the horse.
Yeah, so there is Mark Purvis. We did a Great Gatsby party, and we did this at Sterling Ranch. That's a neighborhood that I market. And Mark is a Sterling Ranch resident, so it's just kind of natural for us to be together at events there. This was kind of a low-key event because I feel, and you probably feel this way too, if you go really big, you don't necessarily get that organic one-on-one time with clients. And so I think it's really important to do small events too to get that more organic. And so we actually used their clubhouse, and we did a Gatsby night. I mean, it was kind of the party, right? Everybody was doing the Gatsby parties. And going back to taking a village to do everything, my mom, like, she helped me do all the food for this party. So it was really cool because I got to spend the whole day in the kitchen with my mom. Not to mention, you talk about things going wrong. We turned the corner, and our car was so full of stuff going there. We turned the corner, and a whole platter of deviled eggs to the window. So that was, yeah.
Well, you know.
It was fun.
Got to have a sense of humor.
So that was
right?
really a cool, fun event. The thing is, too, is like you talk about things being like if you feel it's a failure, it's hard to get. I feel like the show factor in Colorado is not the best for your events. But the thing is I made a touch point when I sent out the invites. I made a touch point when I called to remind them. And then I had my people at the event. And then after the event, I had another touch point saying, hey, I'm sorry we missed you. We'll do it again. I hope we'll see you then. So, yeah.
You bring up a really important piece of it for both of you. It's that beginning, and then there's the event, but there's also what you do afterwards and how many touch points before and how many touch points after. Because it's just not about the pies or Gatsby or, Polo. It's about all those touch points.
Right. And if you don't like to farm, and farming's not your thing, like, farm your events per se.
Sure,
like,
sure.
Make them your
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. So, okay.
Solar eclipse. This is fun.
So another one is trying to capture what's going on in time, right? Being current. So again, this was at Sterling Ranch, and I'm going to say probably to do this event, probably I spent the max, maybe $100, and I opened it up to the whole community. We made it an event on Facebook to the public. I provided solar eclipse glasses, and we just set up, we did a prize wheel. People showed up. I brought a couple things of cupcakes, and that was it. I mean, again, it was like a natural, organic thing. And, of course, you brand while you're there.
Sure.
Just kind of fun. I think you really need to immerse yourself in the communities that you're marketing and really brand yourself and use your events to do that.
Wonderful. Do we have any pictures of the pumpkin patch?
I think I do. Yeah. Okay. So, I don't know. Going back and forth a lot. So our big quarterly event is I don't know, we're kind of glitchy here.
Yes, we are a little glitchy. We're having lots of technical things today.
That's okay. We'll roll with it, just like you do in our business.
That's right. That's right. We know how to pivot. Yes.
Yeah, I promise I'm not touching it. So my big event that I do once a year is a pumpkin patch. And it's kind of a ghost in there, gremlin in there. So the pumpkin patch takes a lot, talking about prep and everything. When you bring a semi-truck full of pumpkins to your property and you make what looks like an authentic pumpkin patch, it is a lot of physical labor. Yeah. So that's really cool. So what we do is we actually, we get a local farmer. He's out of Canesburg because I like supporting, if you can't tell, I'm a big advocate for supporting local. And we bring in a semi-truck full of pumpkins and then we move them out into the field. And then we invite our clients all to come and get a pumpkin and we grill. And it's just like a day event. We bring in a bounce house and I'm kind of unique, and so that's the other thing is you have to find what your niche is and what makes you unique.
Sure.
I have a little ranch, and we have ducks and chickens, and the kids thought it was really cool chasing the ducks, and I grabbed a duck. I saw your picture.
Yes.
Grabbed a duck.
So I had the honor of attending Amber's pumpkin patch this year with our granddaughters, and they got to pet a duck, which was very cool. That was like the highlight of their day. I just want you to know. And then going out into the field to pick the pumpkins is really cool.
Yeah. But you don't have to go this big. And so this year, I actually, this is my big budget event. So this event probably runs us about $1,500 in that range. But I actually partnered with another agent this year. And Fred and I, that's my teammate, we partnered with Vicky Zeeb. And we just made it really fun. Like our spheres are different. It was just cool to do it together. So bringing in, talking about your village, why not partner with another CB agent on an event like this? Because it just goes so much further and it gets more advertising. And she's the queen of social media. So who else would you want promoting her?
There you go.
Right?
There you go. And I think there was even a gender reveal at the pumpkin.
Was. That's the first. That's the first. We did have a gender reveal. It was one of Vicky's clients, and they did the cake. And so I missed it because I feel like this event, when we did it during COVID, we did do the Sign Up Genius. And I kind of like that because it spaced everybody out because not everybody is the best at trying to figure out parking and I mean, we have a bigger property, but when everybody shows up at once, it's still kind of like, Black Friday at the mall parking. So it was good. But that's really cool. And so the thing about this event is really nice is the people that don't come to the pumpkin patch, they couldn't make it for one reason or the other. We all have life. I use the pumpkins as Popeyes. So like, I just load up my car and I put tags on the pumpkins and I take them and I leave them on people's porches. And I'm like, I joke, I'm like doing a drive-by Halloween decorating for you. So get ready for fall because it's coming. So it's just kind of cool event. Another event we have coming up is I'm actually partnering again with Mark. We're doing a nacho usual football party. That's what we decided to call it. And so
very creative, very creative.
Again, low cost. So this one actually will probably cost Mark and I nothing. So how we're pulling that off is we are doing it in a new community that has builders. We've partnered with the builders and the builders are going to sponsor our nacho bar. So we're just going to brand ourselves as one of the organizers of the events. And we're just doing it. They have a bunch of big screen TVs. So if you have a clubhouse, I think it's really good to use your community amenities. I mean, you're there marketing, right? You want to specialize in it. So we're just doing a full nacho bar and come watch football.
How fun is that?
And there's
Awesome.
a brewery in there, so people
there
can
you
buy
go.
beer, and
Sure.
then I'm not liable for that. So.
Correct. Yes. Correct.
Yeah.
We don't want that to be the next legal lowdown with Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Okay. So surprises, things that maybe you didn't anticipate during an event.
I mean, there's always a curveball, and you really just go with it. I think the biggest obstacle is not really what's going to happen. I think your biggest downfall would be if you don't plan ahead, no matter if it's small or large, and not tapping into the marketing. I mean, if you're going to spend the time and the money to do an event, make sure you spend the time to do the marketing before, during, and after. That's the biggest thing. But I think probably the biggest obstacle is people not doing things, like just overthinking it and not doing it. I think you just need to just do it.
Right, because you both have alluded to you learn along the way. Like you learn what works, what you would do differently, what you wouldn't do. Maybe has there, for one last question for both of you, was there an event that you did that you wouldn't do again?
I don't think so. I mean, I think every event has had its benefit. There's events that I don't think were as advantageous to market. I think other events yielded more return on the time and the investment. I think that, I mean, we've done things that I think it's just a matter of timing. And I think that the failure would be if you didn't prepare.
Yeah,
right?
I think we did a summer froyo party at a locally owned yogurt shop for a number of years, and then it sold to another individual, and the vibe there completely changed. And so we brought our vibe for about a year or two, and then after that, we're like, no, we need to do something different, and that's when we started doing mini golf for a summer event instead. So, yeah, I would just encourage people, like, just make sure it's you, that the whole thing it's really you, it's your vibe, it's your energy, all of that, because that's why your clients are coming.
Yes.
So if there's something that's strange about it, needs to go.
No, that is really important. Doing client events is just like farming or calling on expireds. Like, if it's not your thing, then really do something that's you, right?
Okay.
I would never called an expired. For those of you who do, keep doing it, because there's going to be a lot of those. But it has to be, you have to have some passion for it.
Yeah.
And I can tell with both of you, you have passion for giving back to the community and just being there for your people. And, the gratitude piece and the community piece are really important. And that shows at these events. That it has to be genuine and it has to be you. Or there's not going to be the energy, or it's going to fall flat, and no one's going to enjoy it, including you.
Yeah. And there have been some times where we're thinking of, oh, that sounds like a fun idea, another agent this, or that sounds fun, but then we really imagine, like, okay, how would I feel? How would I feel as the hostess of that party? And if I'm not if I'm not excited about it, we're not doing it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Good
Because
for
it
you.
is so much work.
It is a lot
and
of
the time
work.
and all of that, so.
I find that intimate of, like, smaller events are more rewarding. They pay off more.
Yeah.
Just because it's easier to connect with people.
Yeah.
I mean, my pumpkin patch is great, and everybody looks forward to it. I get people all the time. Are we, what day are we doing the pumpkin patch? They come every year and they look forward to it. But I feel I don't get that connection one-on-one time. Another event that we like to do is I feel like opening up your house to your clients, or like your neighborhood clubhouse, is something that's really personal.
Sure.
And I feel our business is such a personal piece. And so we do a cookie exchange too. And that's easy because I only have to bake one batch of cookies, and I buy the tins, and I invite people to come to my house, and we just do an exchange.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. So that's kind of another fun thing coming up with the holidays you can do.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both so much. Some really fun events, really great ideas for large events and smaller, more intimate events. Really appreciate you sharing everything that you do. And just for fun, I have to tell everyone this, like, Jennifer brought pies for us to eat after the Mile High View. So
There were some hints that were dropped.
There were some hints about pies. Yes, there were. So thank you both so much. Thank you for joining us today. I hope that you walked away with some wonderful wonderful tips and tricks about doing your business planning. Please be mindful of solar if you're listing a house with solar, or special assessment. Those are two big things that we're seeing a lot. on the legal side of our business. Start your business plan now. Don't overwhelm yourself. I think Kimberly only gives us 3 goals, so that's pretty cool. Don't do 10. And for fun, plan a client appreciation event, whether it's 1 a quarter or 6 or 1 big one. I think that they're hugely beneficial. So thank you so much for everything that you do at Coldwell Banker. We appreciate you and all of your hard work, and we will see you soon. Have a great day.